And the different products had different points associated with them. And those products or foods that were very much in demand for the troops and the allies living in different countries had high points. And those that were very readily available, things like molasses and peanut butter, had very low points or often were sometimes not even rationed and were just very readily available. So home cooks had to be very clever. They had to learn to never waste, and they also had to learn to cook and bake with a whole host of ingredients that maybe they weren't used to working with in the past. A couple of you shared with me that you really questioned the validity of doing or value of recreating recipes from World War I, World War II, the Depression, so on and so forth, because what was available to home cooks then and what may have been affordable to home cooks then is different than what may be available or affordable to us in this year. And that's definitely a very valid point. However, I think what we've learned, especially after going through 2020, is that sometimes what we can experience shortages in is actually quite similar to what home cooks experienced in years previous. And even after 2020, we found that, yes, there can be shortages or there can be very high prices. We recently experienced that with eggs, where the price of eggs went through the roof or often were simply unavailable. And we needed to learn how to bake without eggs. And during 2020, many were scrambling to figure out how to bake with alternate flours, alternate grains, when you could barely find any all-purpose or bread flour on the shelves. And we were also scrambling and trying to figure out how to bake without packaged yeast. And sourdough started to become very popular. So you never know what we're going to experience. And so my opinion is, my humble opinion, is that we should really be prepared for anything. We should know how to cook with eggs, of course, and we should know how to cook without eggs. We should know how to bake with all-purpose flour and make our sourdough starter and also make yeast-risen breads, but we should also know how to bake and cook with alternate grains. All of this simply helps our repertoire in the kitchen, in a traditional foods kitchen, and it helps us to become better home cooks and better prepared for whatever life or the economy throws our way.